Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make an emulsified and foaming sugar scrub all from scratch. This is a simple ingredient formula that you make totally cold process, meaning you don't have to heat anything up, and I've put a little holiday twist on it. It's a mostly natural formula and I think you're really going to like it. In this video, I'm going to be going over my full visual process and tutorial step by step of how to make this beautiful sugar scrub. And if you would like the full recipe with amounts and percentages and a full written detailed step-by-step tutorial with resources of where to pick up all the supplies and materials that you'll need for this project, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. You can unlock this formula at just the $5 level. There really is a ton to take advantage of just at the $5 level. I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below for you. I hope you'll check it out. We have a community now of over 3,000 makers. It's a great way to connect with me. It's a great way to connect with other makers, and there are some new features over there that I think you're really gonna like. There is now the ability to shop for my digital goods, meaning you can buy some of the recordings of my past classes, and you can also search now for formulas using the collections tab. You can search by collection, by like and kind, making it super convenient. I've added a few new tiers I'd really like you to go over there and take a look at, and hopefully you'll join the community after you see what it's all about. All right, let's go ahead and make some sugar scrub. All right, so like I said in the intro, this is a really easy, simple ingredient recipe, and everything goes into the same container. So you just want to make sure everything is clean and sanitized before you get going, as we are making a cosmetic product. The first ingredient we're going to weigh off is called Sucraclear. This is a natural oil gellant. This comes from makesy.com. You guys have seen me use this ingredient quite a bit because it's super versatile. Not only is it going to create a gel base out of our oils to create our sugar scrub, it also is an emulsifier. So this is a really interesting and versatile ingredient. It's made out of glycerin, fractionated coconut oil, water, sucrose laurate, and sucrose stearate. So it's a natural oil gellant. It has a really good skin feel and skin profile. I really do like it. So if you do decide to purchase it, please use my affiliate link in the description box below. I am a Makesy affiliate. That really helps me out. So we're going to go ahead and weigh off our Sucraclear. In fact, over on my Patreon campaign now, I have a whole collection called Sucraclear Collection, where you can find all of the recipes so far that I've made using this very versatile ingredient. So not only will you be able to access this formula if you go over there, but you'll be able to access all the formulas, including the formulas where I use this ingredient, and it's super easy to search now, just going in and searching by the collections. So if you do invest in this product, please know that I have a lot of other formulas that you can look up where you get to use this ingredient. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and weigh off the rest of our oil ingredients into another small container. That will make things easier when we mix. Even though technically you could put everything in the same container, I'm going to go ahead and weigh off the oil type ingredients in one container before we combine. To this beaker, we're going to be adding in our oily ingredients, or our emollients. So when you mix your emollients with your Sucraclear, it creates a gel. So you can add any kind of light carrier oil or any kind of carrier oil that you like. It just depends on what type of emolliency or skin feel and what type of properties you want to bring to your sugar scrub. So today I'm using sunflower oil. And the reason I'm using sunflower oil is it's high in antioxidants, it's got a great fast absorption rate on the skin, yet it feels very velvety, and it's got kind of a silky velvety feel to it. It absorbs, and it just rinses off really nicely in combination with the other ingredients in this formula. And one of the things about Sucraclear is because it's an oil gellant, it can handle a high amount of oil. So all of those times you guys are asking me about how to incorporate oil into your products, this is a great way to do it. I'm getting to the top. I may have to switch to a different beaker. In fact, I'm sure I'm gonna have to switch to a different beaker here. All right, now that we've got the sunflower oil moved over to a bigger beaker, we're gonna go ahead and add in the rest of the oily ingredients, and that includes some fragrance oil and some preservative. So for the fragrance oil today, we are gonna be adding in some Twigs and Berries fragrance oil by Nature's Garden. It's a really fun, festive, kind of fruit candy forward fragrance, and it reminds me of old-fashioned ribbon candy. It smells so good. So we're gonna go ahead and add in our fragrance oil. All right. And then next we're gonna add in our preservative. Now we're gonna be using some Optiphen preservative because Optiphen is great with formulas that have a high oil content like this one. And we are using a preservative here because I assume that customers will put this in the shower, and if there's any water or moisture introduced to the batch or to your container, it could grow bacteria. So we're going to go ahead and do this. If you wanted to just use it for yourself and leave out the Optiphen or the preservative, you could just replace this preservative amount with more carrier oil and then just scoop out what you would need to take into your shower. And then don't take the whole container, just scoop out a little bit at a time. Okay, I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir, and then we're going to add some mica for colorant. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir, mixing in that fragrance and the preservative in with the sunflower oil. Then I'm going to add a little bit of Jam Session Mica from Nurture Soap. And for some reason, this fragrance just really has a purple smell to it, if that makes sense. Sometimes I smell fragrances and I know right away, oh, that's going to be green or blue. This one just has a very purple type smell to it. I'm kind of going, this is going to look darker, but once everything else is added in and we add the sugar in, it's not going to have this dark appearance to it. But I'm going for a lighter type purple color because we're going to be adding in some jojoba beads as well, and I want them to really show up. So go ahead and stir this and get all your mica dissolved. Okay, so now we are able to go ahead and start combining our oily ingredients with our Sucraclear. This is really the only kind of complicated part of this formula because you can't just add it in and then stick blend it. You have to add it in little bits at a time to build the gel. If you add it in all at once, it will overwhelm the Sucraclear and it will not combine to make a gel. So you have to add in little bits at a time until you form a stiff kind of, well, I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm just gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of the oily ingredients into the gel base and then into the Sucraclear, and then I'm gonna emulsify it till it turns white. But by a little bit, I really just mean a little bit at a time. It's easier to make bigger batches like I'm doing today than smaller batches with this ingredient. I'm just gonna add in a little bit like that. I'm gonna take my stick blender. And now you see I have an opaque, kind of creamy looking, emulsified looking formula here. As we add in more oil, it will become more of a clear type base, but you don't want to add more oil in until you get your first little bit to look like that. And I'll try to show you what this looks like on fast motion. So I'll add a little bit at a time so you can see what this looks like, and we'll just put it on fast motion so you can see the process. I have my stick blender on high, and you don't have to worry about over blending this. You can't really over blend these ingredients. to this point, it gets pretty hard to stick blend, and you can actually just use a spatula. Now that you have this kind of jelly base, if you take a look at that consistency, it's very thick. It's got a really good kind of gel-like bouncy consistency. You can start adding it in by hand at this point and then mixing to combine each addition. And you can go back to stick blending if you want to, but it does get very difficult to stick blend at this point, and we're about halfway through our oily ingredients. Just to give you a visual what that looks like at this point, we've got a nice just gel base going on. Very glossy looking. We're just going to start to add little bits at a time, stirring by hand at this point. All right, I'll bring you back when all the oil is combined. All right, so all of our oily ingredients have been combined with that Sucraclear, and as you can see, we've come up with a beautiful oil gel. It's very glossy and just almost transparent a little bit, the way that it looks, at least compared to when you first start mixing it up. It's a very gorgeous, gorgeous gel-like consistency. So now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use this base to add in the rest of our ingredients. Now that we've created our sugar scrub base, we're going to add in the rest of the ingredients. So next up is going to be the bubbling agent in this formula, and today we're going to be using a surfactant called sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, also known as SLSA. It's very gentle, not to be confused with sodium lauryl sulfate, which can be harsh, a little bit harsher. For some people, we're using SLSA. It's a coconut-derived powdered surfactant. This is going to bring the bubbles and the cleansing agent to the sugar scrub. I have also tried this using powdered sodium cocoa isothioniate. If you have that around, you can use that as well in the same rate. Be careful to go slow at this point and stir this in slowly so that all that powder gets dampened down by the oil gel. And then you can go a little bit quicker, but you just want to make sure that doesn't go airborne and irritate your airways. So just stir gently at first to make sure all that powder gets incorporated. And then we're going to add next, make sure this is all mixed in. So you could leave this alone just as it is, and it can be just a foaming oil, like creamy cleanser in this gel-like state if you wanted to. But we are going to add in some exfoliating properties here. So the next thing we're going to do is add in our jojoba beads. So I'm using some Vitaburst Gold jojoba beads. This came from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I'm going to add this in before the sugar, because I think it'll be a little bit easier to incorporate. This is just sort of an as desired amount. I always kind of go by eyesight here. I never really weigh this part out. I probably should. I'm going to add a little bit more jojoba beads. These will act as an exfoliant in this formula. In more watery based formulas, they plump up and suspend. In this type of formula, they will just act as a bit of an exfoliant, and they make the product look very fun and festive. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do to this container is just go ahead and add in our sugar. All right, I've gone ahead and transferred the gel base into this bigger mixing container just so I made sure I had enough room. So now we're just going to go ahead and add in the sugar. I really underestimated the size of this batch fitting into my containers today. I've only ever made this in small batches. So note to self or to anyone who's going to make this, just make sure you have containers that are big enough for your whole formula. That'll make life a lot easier. And we're just going to go ahead and add that sugar in bit by bit and get it all mixed in. This is like my new favorite way to make foaming sugar scrubs. I just think it's awesome. And there you go, everybody. Our sugar is now all incorporated in, and just look at that beautiful texture. Isn't that such a great texture for a sugar scrub? The last thing we're going to do is go ahead and package this up, and then I'll give you a little bit of a use demo. All right, we're ready to go ahead and put these in our containers. I'm using these 8-ounce wide mouth PET containers. I think I got them from Berlin Packaging. And it's kind of good to have 2 spatulas here just to kind of help you scrape everything down. And these will set up just a little bit over the next 24 hours, just ever so slightly. But they're just a gorgeous texture. Even when they set up, I love the way the final texture is also amazing. But just look at that. It's got a beautiful gel base. I'm going to fill these to the top like this, but not so high that the oil wants to seep out of the lid. So I'm going to weigh this real fast just to see how much product I'm getting into one container. So these are holding roughly 10 ounces. So this container, they sell it as an 8-ounce, but really it holds 10 ounces of product. So there you go. Look at the jojoba beads. Isn't that so cute? So we're going to go ahead and fill up the rest. All right, be right back for a use demo. Okay, so remember this is an emulsified and a foaming sugar scrub. So it's got the foaming properties, the exfoliating properties, and the emulsified properties, meaning when it comes into contact with the water, it's going to turn into a creamy lotion-like consistency, and it will rinse off so you won't have any greasy residue left on your skin or your bathtub or shower bottom, which is great with a product that's got a lot of oil like this. To have it just rinse off cleanly is very important, to me at least. So we're just going to go ahead and wet our hands down a little bit, grab up a little bit with my dry hand. And there you go. Automatically I'm getting this beautiful kind of cream base from the emulsification part of it. And the exfoliation is just perfect. It's great for like wintertime skin, getting those dead skin cells off. So I'm going to see if I can show you how the lather works with it. The lather is going to be activated by the water as well. And there you go. I'm getting some bubbles, some low foaming. And as the sugar dissolves, you will get more and more of a bubbly type lather. See that? And it turns into a very creamy lotion-like consistency. Absolutely gorgeous. It feels so good. Again, it's my new favorite way to make foaming sugar scrubs. I just think the overall performance of this one is great. So look for these on my website soon. I'm going to test out selling just those 5 that I made in the bigger container and see how that goes. So if you're interested in just purchasing one for yourself, please head on over to my website. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. That's how you make a foaming and emulsified sugar scrub. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me some comments or questions below, and also subscribe to my channel. All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Keep shining. Bye.